Will your portfolio survive the next dip? Now, when I consider the upside of a scenario, I always consider the downside as well because not everything in this market is 100%. Okay, I always gauge my trades by probabilities, the setups by probabilities, as well as the price targets. So right now, even though my thoughts on this market is looking bullish because Bitcoin, which is the driver of this crypto markets, it will affect your altcoins, is basically at a major support level. I've been talking about the support level. It's important for quite a few reasons. Okay, the daily 21 SMA currently at about the blue line here, which is about 116.6K here. Okay, very important level since Bitcoin has bounced off the supports and formed a falling wedge pattern that's probably more validated on the 12-hour time frame, where we can actually have at least three candlesticks touching a valid trend line here. Okay, I've been talking about this level because I do expect a pretty good bounce from here. Now, would this be a bounce that would take Bitcoin to higher highs? Well, based on this chart here, it's telling me it's pretty likely. So it's very important because if Bitcoin is going to be pumping, so will the altcoins. Now we're also going to be talking about some altcoins later in this video as well, which will include some meme coins. We're going to have some fun today. Of course, these are riskier coins as well, which will include Toshi, Snek, and what is the next one? PNUT. Okay, so some meme coins. I like trading meme coins when Bitcoin is looking bullish. Okay, that gives me a higher probability of making more profitable trades. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about Toshi, Snek, and PNUT later on in this video. Usually after the 10-minute mark. I highly don't recommend you guys skip through because I do not trade altcoins without a clear understanding of what Bitcoin could be doing. Because if it dumps, it could still affect the altcoins, even though it's been losing its dominance over the markets. All right, so we're gonna get to some news first here before getting into the charts. Some major crypto news I think you guys should be interested in. This first one is by News BTC. Wall Street's bold bets: Bitcoin could hit 200K by December, banking giant says. Now, I've been reading these headlines. I've been seeing them pretty commonly. I agree with the prediction based on what I'm seeing on my charts, which is based off the RSI, the monthly RSI reading. We're still nowhere near its FOMO levels of a bull cycle peak. So there is still a lot of room to run for Bitcoin. I mean, it's just started its bull cycle, in my opinion, because it just broke through that 110K area I've been talking about for the longest time. Now, of course, these are just my opinions and not financial advice. Okay, you guys got to do your own research. And I am long on Bitcoin and quite a bit of the altcoins here across the board. But I'll tell you guys when I change my opinion because as a trader, I'm supposed to be looking out for both sides of the trade. If I see long opportunities, I will jump on it. If I see short opportunities, I will jump on it. All right, so next piece here is going to be by News BTC. Bitcoin eyes bounce off the support level in reversal campaign for 121K. Yes, I will show you guys. Well, basically, I already showed you guys in the chart why this bounce off the support level, the daily 21 SMA, is very important. I showed you guys what I talked about yesterday as well, where I called the bounce, and we're seeing it right now. We could be seeing some pretty bullish price action here over the weekend, and I think this is gonna get more and more common as the bull cycle continues. We're gonna see more bullish price action over weekends, which in the past, uh, weekends are a lot of nothing happening. Okay. Next, we have Cointelegraph, Spot, Ether, ETFs, Log, $453 million in inflows, extend streak to 16 days. I don't really follow the ETF data. Sometimes I find contradictory data as opposed to what I'm seeing on the price action chart. If you guys know what the inflow data, how that affects technical analysis, share your insights in the comment section below with the rest of us. But I'll let you guys what I know, and I let you guys what I don't know. And this is something I'm not really sure about. But I've been seeing that the Ethereum price action has been on fire. I have exited my Ethereum leverage position back about 3,400. I've been trying to get in on a dip, but it still kind of looks overextended. So I'm not gonna go into something that looks overextended. I'm gonna still wait for a dip here, even though I might not catch it. But if I don't catch it, I'm gonna catch something else in the market. Okay, that is the benefit of being able to read charts. And if you guys want to learn technical analysis and read charts, regardless of the symbol, you guys should definitely be following this channel. All right, next piece here is gonna be by Crypto Potato. Bitcoin price recovers $3,000. SUI rockets 10% to $4. Weekend watch. I haven't checked SUI yet, but I have been seeing the Bitcoin recovery. It has been pretty swift, okay? Because, I mean, not too long ago, just a day ago, we were just at about 100, like sub 115K. That was looking a little scary at the moment because I had quite a bit of leverage on, and I would have to scramble a little bit just to cover my leverage positions. But right now, it's looking pretty good right now. And I think the chances of Bitcoin going higher is in our favor. All right, Bitcoin reaches 150K soon. Billionaire investor Mike Novogratz says, "Yeah, I think 150K is definitely in sight. We don't really have that much longer to go. That much more room to go before 150K. And why is that good for the altcoins? Because if Bitcoin has more room to run, so would the altcoins. If you guys don't believe me, just take a look into the last bull cycles, okay? 2021, 2020, 2017, okay? Monthly RSI. If Bitcoin reaches the peak of that bull cycle or that midterm bull cycle and that monthly RSI, it's way too overheated. That tells me that, it's getting too risky and I'm going to be scaling out my positions pretty quickly, right? So that is basically what I'm seeing, and we are not really anywhere close to those FOMO levels on the RSI reading on the monthly time frame. All right, let's come over here to a daily time frame for a 12-hour time frame for Bitcoin here. Now I am still talking about this falling wedge pattern, which usually break to the upside. If it breaks out by this point, let's just say, for example, price target for Bitcoin is going to be just right above 125K there. Okay. Now, price targets are estimates only. There could be more, there could be less. Very much depends on the type of market we're in. I still think we're in a very bullish market, but that is just my personal opinion. Everything in this video is my personal opinion. Okay. Now, got to consider the downside as well. Even though if Bitcoin is favored to break out of this pattern to the upside, okay, if this pattern breaks down, okay, first, it's gonna the next key support I'll be looking at, there's still quite a bit of short-term moving average that's coming up to the price action that could be acting as support, including the 4-hour 200 SMA, currently about 113K, 6-hour 200 SMA, that is right above 110K, 3-day 21 SMA, is that above, that's right at about the 110K area. So those are going to be some supports to be looking out for if this pattern does not hold. And of course, if this pattern does not hold, that could very likely dump the altcoins as well. All right, let's go ahead and go to some meme coins here, the fun part. All right, next we're going to be taking a look into Toshi. What is going on in Toshi, the meme coin, since the last time we have talked about it? I'm going to wait for the charts to load. I think I should be taking a look into the daily time frame here, where I talked about Toshi. There was a falling wedge pattern, the most common pattern. If you guys start charting, simple and effective, tells you after an extensive downtrend on that time frame that the price action is likely to break out to the upside. This in this case of Toshi, it did. Okay, price target was about 0.079 cents. It went up to about about there before getting a rejection. 0.077 cents about there before getting a rejection. What could Toshi be doing right now? It is on the daily 21 SMA. That is the key support right now. It is currently holding. Okay. Which is the blue line here. Okay, if this does not hold, you could be looking at further downside. The next key support I'll be looking at would be probably the daily 50 SMA, at least on this time frame. Okay, there's going to be other moving averages that could be acting as support as well, but just from this time frame here, the next key one is going to be the daily 50 at about 0.054. Okay, that's still quite a bit of a way down for Toshi here. But what I'm seeing here, it still looks like a higher high and a higher low trajectory, which is very important because that is basically the definition of an uptrend where you see higher highs and higher lows. That's probably more noticeable on a higher time frame. But I'm just saying here. Okay, let's take a look into a smaller time frame and get more clarity on what Toshi could be doing. 3-hour time frame, double bottom pattern. Okay, double bottom patterns usually break to the upside, and right now it looks like Toshi is trying to break above this neckline of that double bottom pattern. Okay, it's about 0.062 cents. If it's able to break out of that resistance, I have a short-term target here of about 0.067 cents price target. Let's see if Toshi gets there, and that is just in the short term. If Toshi is actually able to come all the way back up here, which I expect to be the next key resistance zone on this weekly time frame, right, will be about that 0.1 cents area. Okay, just right here. It could be forming some type of a cup and handle there, because a cup and handle is usually a rounded bottom, which we are seeing, but it's waiting for it to come back up to this 0.1 cents area, right? Well, you guys can see that previous rejection there. If it does and come up to retest this level, it could form a cup and handle. Still very hypothetical situation right now, but that is something in the shorter term to the longer term. Now let's take a look into Snek. What's going on with Snek, this meme coin? All right, with this market here, what I'm seeing is a falling wedge pattern. Okay, I'm waiting for my chart to load here. All right, let me just go ahead and chart it right now. This could be what we're seeing here. All right, this is it. All right, Snek here. I am seeing a falling wedge pattern, probably more validated on a shorter time frame, a lower time frame here, to get 3 candles touching as closely as possible to validate a trend line. I think this is close enough, in my opinion. And what I'm seeing here is a breakout of this falling wedge pattern. Okay, just right over here. Now, since the breakout here, it has been basically dragging down, right? I mean, that's not uncommon to see, especially when there's quite a bit of resistance that's above the breakout point. In this case, you're going to see quite a bit of moving averages. When moving average is above the price action, it's going to be resistance, okay? And it did trend downwards, but this breakout was still valid because price action was still above this top trend line, okay? Very important to be continuously charting and get an idea of what the price action could be doing, because things could change on a dime, okay? got to be watching out for fake outs, flops after breakouts, because the price action breaks out of a pattern does not mean it's gonna smooth sail to that price target. Sometimes it doesn't go to that price target. Now, since it has actually tested this top trend line quite a few times, it's finally made a significant move to the upside here before getting rejected at about 0.5 cents price level. Okay, what could Snek be doing right now? Especially since that pump. Okay, let's take a look into a smaller time frame and see if I can get any clues. Could this be another falling wedge pattern here? All right. Just bear with me here. I thought I had actually done this chart before starting the show here. Okay, so this is still a falling wedge pattern, right? We have two swings, probably on an hourly time frame. Okay, never mind. This is not a validated falling wedge pattern in my opinion. So nothing exactly is going on a shorter time frame here for Snek, and that's fine because we have the bigger pattern here that is in play on the 3-day time frame. Okay, price target, like I said, is going to be about 0.8 cents price target for Snek, and this is on the 3-day time frame. So let's see if it gets there. Okay, let's see some key resistances to be paying attention to, which is the daily 200 SMA. That's going to be the key support right now. It's trying to stay above it. There's quite a bit of divergence on this daily time frame, as you guys can see here on the RSI. So very important for Snek to be holding above some of these daily moving averages. Right now, the immediate one is the orange line at about 0.36 cents, which is the daily 200 SMA. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is PNUT. PNUT the Squirrel. See what's going on with this market. Last time I've talked about it, I said that there was a falling wedge pattern. Okay, PNUT actually broke out of this pattern. Price target for this breakout here is about 0.4. It's about 42 cents. PNUT has broken out, reclaimed some of these moving averages on this daily time frame. Right now, it's trying to stay above the daily 21 SMA, the blue line here, at about 28 cents. Okay, let's take a look into a shorter time frame and see if I can get any more clarity or clues on what PNUT could be doing. Okay, no exact pattern on the shorter time frames as well, so I'm just looking at the bigger time frame here at about the daily time frame. Let's see if PNUT's actually able to hit that price target, because it still has some way to go before hitting that price target at about 42 cents there. So that's basically what I'm seeing here. Always got to consider the downside as well for these breakouts. Now, this basically wraps it up for this video. Let me know if you guys want to continue seeing more updates on any of these coins or any other coins. I will pick a request due for you guys on a daily basis. And I'll see you guys on the next one.